What's up, my comic comrades? Today we're jumping back into the Thor title with issues 20 and 21 as we continue the God of Hammer story and head toward the upcoming clash between Thor and the Hulk in the Banner of War miniseries. If you haven't been following the series yourself, firstly, what the heck is wrong with you? It's fantastic. Secondly, fret not, you can catch up by watching our episodes covering the entire run right here. Most recently, Mjolnir has lost its enchantment of worthiness, allowing anyone to wield it. As a result, it's been stolen, and whoever took it is killing people with it left and right. Well, today we're going to find out who's behind these murders, as well as learn more about the myth of the God of Hammers. So sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink and snack, as we're going to see what craziness Donny Cates has cooked up for Thor. Issue 20 starts off with dead bodies all across the Ten Realms, as the caption says, and lo, the hammer spoke. Its echoes ripple across the now destroyed canyons of Vanir, from the burning shores of Alfheim to the ashes of Muspelheim, through and across every realm of the world. Indeed, thundering as it once did when it carried the words of the Allfather. Only now, trailing behind it, no thunder, no words, only the sound of Uru. Smashing wet against bone, shattering the once quiet armistice of the Ten Realms. Deafening the sound of war drums, pulled as taut as bows and slings. Nay, nothing behind it save a wake of dead. A new god has risen, a god of hammers, and with it, rage, fire, war, death. As we get a two-page spread of Thor on Nidavellir holding the lifeless body of the Forge Master, king amongst the dwarves. As Thor puts the king's body to rest, he says he will be avenged. But Odin just looks at his son and says, that's enough. A king cannot rule from his knees, boy. Thor then gets up and stares at his father's face, saying, this one shall do whatever the hell he pleases. As for you, loyal subject of Asgard, you may do well to bite your tongue when addressing your king. Odin replies, or what? You go cry to your mother again? Thor just stares at his father intensely, with his eyes lighting up with lightning before hitting his father, sending him flying back, saying, you think this is funny? You stand here in an entire realm reduced to a graveyard, and you smirk and make sport of me? This is your fault. Do you not see that, you blind old man? Donald Blake going insane, a broken enchantment of yours that saw how many die? And now this? Mjolnir's worthiness magics are gone. Magics you put in place, which has let some god of hammers steal it, and by the elder gods, look around you, father, everything is dying, everything is broken, everything you touch, everything you have ever made is coming apart. Odin then looks at Thor saying, oh, believe me, I see that, son, essentially saying that Thor is also coming apart. But seconds after this, Thor and Odin are teleported by Loki to Jotunheim, where we see countless frost giants dead. With Thor saying, Mjolnir, Loki then sits down Thor and Odin, saying, let there be peace or let there be thunder. Your words, no? At your great coronation. But where is your peace now, brother? Where is your thunder? Where is Mjolnir? Thor then asks Loki, who is he? Odin interrupts saying, this is nonsense. The god of hammers is a myth. Loki replies, but what are we if not living myths? Odin says, this is different, Loki. If there were such a god, I would know. But Thor says, I wasn't asking you. Loki goes on to say, the prophecy, this myth, is real. I have scoured the universe to obtain what records there are of this god. Sadly, whatever legends there were seem to have been destroyed, and destroyed recently. But everything I found, they all tell me the same story. The god of hammers will rise. He will ignite the 10 realms, and he will take the last king of Asgard. And then there will be nothing. Nothing but the distant sound of a forge, burning, raging, as the god of hammers reshapes the world. Odin then follows up Loki by saying he will ignite the 10 realms. So another war of the realms then. Well, we've done that dance before. I, for one, am not shaken. Loki says, you misunderstand me. The text is literal. They will not go to war. They will burn. Odin then says, Thor, I have to tell you, but is interrupted by Thor saying, wait, I smell Bifrost, as Lady Sif and Frog appear to tell Thor, you must come with us. Now. They take Thor to a destroyed Broxton, which is a small town in Oklahoma, very close to Thor. Thor then picks up Bones saying, not here, not Midgard, as tears fall from his eyes. But those tears quickly turn to anger as he gets up using his power to make the earth shake before he extends his hand out, calling Mjolnir back to his hand. And then on the next page, we see he's done it. He summoned his hammer once again, saying, finally. To me, Mjolnir, but before Thor can catch his hammer, his eyes open wide with fear as the hammer strikes him down, causing a massive crater, with him saying, what is happening? He then gets hit again, saying, who's there? And as he repeatedly gets hit by the hammer, a caption says, and then there were no words. Only a symphony of Uru breaking against Godbone. There would be no peace. There would be no more thunder. For lo, the hammer has spoken. Thor then gets back up saying, show yourself, coward. Stop hiding and tell me your name. A voice then says, oh Thor, you know my name. You have always known it. Thor then stares, saying no, as the voice reveals itself saying, I am Mjolnir, as we see the embodiment of Mjolnir holding the hammer, or itself I suppose, above its head. And with that, issue 20 comes to an end, and it's kind of crazy that Mjolnir is the god of hammers. But with that said, let's jump into issue 21. The comic opens up with a close-up of the sun with a caption saying, there's only so much darkness one could throw into the sun before the star turns black. Then on the next page, we get images of a beaten Thor in the sun with more captions saying, for over 4 billion years, Earth's sun has burned the hearts of countless evils to cinders and bones and atoms. But along the way, the light has been infected, the well poisoned, and now a new evil grows in the furnace of Midgard, slowly evolving, growing stronger every day, waiting for destiny to arrive. But the story of this ancient evil spreading, reaching out from the flames of the untold destruction it will bring upon the universe, the total and complete extinction it will herald. That story is not ready to be told. But there is only so much darkness one could throw into a star before the sun turns black. And what was forged in those flames will carry that darkness, that evil, until every star in the sky turns cold. And we're reading this as we see Thor's eyes wide open with Mjolnir coming towards him. Then on the next page, we see Mjolnir beating the crap out of Thor with the caption saying, withers, decays, collapses, rots, dies. We then see Mjolnir crash one last time into Thor, landing on top of his chest. Thor, unable to remove the hammer, starts drowning as Mjolnir pushes him down into the water. But Thor calls down lightning, and the embodiment of Mjolnir says, burning the lake dry. Very clever. Although you never were much of a thinker, were you? If I didn't know better, I swear my little boy is growing up. Thor asks, who are you? What kind of trick is this? How are you doing this? Mjolnir then walks towards him saying, you and I have been together for so long. Well, except for my brief alliance with Jane, of course. I do hope you weren't too jealous of that. You of all people should know about showing one's wild oats. Call it a phase. Thor replies, damn you, you know nothing about me. But if you want to learn, let me up and I will show you. The embodiment of Mjolnir, or the god of hammers rather, summons the hammer off Thor's chest saying, oh fine, honestly, that's what this all comes down to, you know. Speeches, titles, crowns, thrones, parliament, and senate meetings, blah blah blah. I'm afraid I've grown so bored of it all. Thor then stands up and says, aye, and calls down a sword made of lightning and thunder. Mjolnir says, impressive, my turn, splitting the ground beneath Thor with its hammer. At this point, Thor charges Mjolnir, swinging his sword at her, but misses. He then throws a punch while Mjolnir says, Thor, the god of thunder, should really know better. No one could outrun the lightning, and there is nothing Mjolnir cannot break, as she blocks his punch with the hammer, causing Thor's right arm to break as we see his splintered bone come out of his forearm. And on the next page, Thor says, this cannot be, I cannot be. And Mjolnir says, broken? I know more than anyone how this must feel. I have been there at your side, in your hand, every single time you have beaten back another gathering storm of death. I have watched for eons. I know all of your deeds, even those you have forgotten, all of your triumphs, your secrets, your weaknesses. And yes, Thor, you can be broken. You just have to learn how. And as she brings her hammer down, which in essence is bringing herself down, Odin uses his sword to block before she could strike Thor. Odin then says, all right, damn it, let's end this, shall we? Mjolnir says, oh, Odin, come to die for his son? How noble. But I'm afraid I'll decide when this ends. He replies, I wasn't talking to you, as Lady Sif transports Mjolnir to the farthest place from here. Mjolnir then asks itself, where the hell am I? Then back on Midgard, Thor asks Odin, what's happening? It said that it was Mjolnir, brought to life. Odin tells him, Mjolnir has always been alive, boy. I trapped the Mother Storm inside of it eons ago. And when the dwarves forged that cursed rock into Mjolnir, they told me, those who died making it, that their voices, their souls live on in the hammer itself. I never believed it, but whatever this is, whatever has taken hold of that damn mallet, it's here. As we see, Mjolnir isn't one to be banished, as it returns seconds later with Odin saying, that's impossible. It then strikes Odin in his lower back, and Thor says, father, and runs to his aid, and Odin just says, my legs. Mjolnir then says, it hurts, doesn't it? To lose, to be left alone. Thor asks, why are you doing this? Mjolnir replies, you take me for granted. You always have. But you, none of you have understood me. You thought my enchantment meant you must be a worthy warrior, to be noble or true of heart. But ask yourself, Thor, does any of that describe you? No. I am a hammer. To be worthy of me is to break, to smash, to destroy. And you with your throne and your crown and your speeches, well, this isn't the first time I've grown tired of you, is it? Thor then says, Jane. Mjolnir replies, yes, Jane. She threw me into the sun, and you left me broken. You left me to burn. But see, I wasn't alone in the sun. There was something else there, something powerful, and we burned together. And then we were remade as one. Its spirit became entangled with mine, its soul inside of me. And I woke with a voice, with the rage of 1 billion beings, with the rage of Mangog, as we see a Mjolnir-possessed Mangog on the last page, ready to attack Thor. Absolutely nuts. If you guys are a little confused about what this means, as Mjolnir just told us, Jane threw her into the sun, and when that happened, Mjolnir became entangled with Mangog. If you guys are not familiar with Mangog, it's a vengeance-driven being from a mysterious alien race. It is said to be the manifestation of all the anger and hate from a billion slaughtered beings from a race slaughtered by Odin and the Norse gods. Regardless, it is easily one of Thor and Asgard's most deadly foes. And if that wasn't enough, now it's imbued with the power of Mjolnir. So if the reveal that Mjolnir itself is the god of hammers wasn't crazy and cool enough, we also learned that it's imbued with Mangog. So freaking crazy. I'm absolutely loving this series. Donny Cates consistently writes some of the coolest twists and reveals in modern comics. If you're not reading this title for yourself, you want to pick it up. It is just so good. So head over to your local comic book shop, head over to Comixology, however you have to read it. But for those of you who have been reading along with us, what do you think of the God of Hammers story? Let us know in the comments. And that's gonna bring today's Thor video to a close. But if you like today's Thor video, check out this one right here. And if you like all of our videos, like, subscribe, comment. You know that YouTube algorithm helps us out. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.